Oh, you like to see it.
Alright, so we got SneakyDragon as player 1 in the top, playing Tenri. And in the bottom right, we have CleanerCode playing Vesper as player 2.
These are two commanders that are very intense when once they have groove.
Yeah, they are. Tenri can just pull out wins, right? Like,
Well, I guess if your opponent lets you, yeah, kinda.
I guess
But
like the other
that's the
thing,
same with Vesper, so
yeah. And they're both going the center route with the commanders. How do you feel about that?
no, it's not. No, it's not really center. It's just that this way you can heal on the village next turn.
Right, I get what you're saying there.
It's
But you
like
know, some people will go to the side straight away.
well, the thing is like if you don't go if you don't do that route, you can have an awkward healing, and then it opens up for the other player to like capture some of the corner villages to like delay you quite a bit. Although like they will give you a bit of groove if they do that, but you'll be super delayed. Although I'm noticing already, Sneaky doesn't get the RNG on that line of decapping the gate, but we can see like CleanerCode captured that village next to the forest, and Sneaky didn't. That's like it's kind of your first opening choice, I guess. It's whether you do that or not, because it's gonna result with CleanerCode having a bit more money, but Sneaky is gonna have groove a bit like earlier because he's gonna decap this on his way towards the center. So I guess he's gonna feel good about that. I will say, maybe I haven't like watched the numbers, I guess, but maybe you need to do that if you want to go for a dragon rush, because you can get one as early as turn 4 as player 2, as player 1 too actually. Actually, I like this like commander rushing in from CleanerCode. It's very like it's very shows that there's so many steps in the opening. It's like your Sneaky is not capturing these villages so that CleanerCode doesn't have as much activity with his commander and not as much groove. CleanerCode is just like, I'm not gonna waste my time capturing them. I'm just gonna run for the other villages now.
Yeah, and the headquarters. Like, he could easily run in and put pressure on the HQ. Although, I will note that because Sneaky has a mage, he can't hit the headquarters, or the stronghold, I guess we should say, from the front. Because a mage will just run in and crit. So...
yeah. They're both having some pretty interesting paths, to be honest.
This is very awkward from both sides. I mean, Cleaner's skipping income, which is not really ideal, but...
Well, Sneaky's also skipping income. But, I mean... yeah, it's a little weird.
Ooh, Sneaky's not moving that soldier, which Vesper could just run up and kill it.
That's true. Yeah, that might have been a mistake. But although... I guess, yeah, CleanerCode just goes for the village instead. I guess the sword might hit it, but then it would die to the dog, so yeah. Sneaky not gonna be punished for that. I think the idea for CleanerCode is like you decap the village and then you chain on the other village. Like usually an advanced part of the opening on this map is how you prevent your opponent from doing that, like how to let him only get one village. Because if you look at the other side, Sneaky could do the same. Like he could go decap that village next to the forest on the right and then chain onto the center village. Although, yeah, that dragon is one of the answers to that. Just because now Sneaky can't attack the village from the left to like chain into the center one. So that's probably one of the biggest perks of the Dragon Rush. And it just goes for the center one.
And because like there's a big difference in spending so far, right? Has been Sneaky went for this mage and this knight, whereas there hasn't really been expensive units coming out from Cleaner, so the dragon comes out because of that. So
Yeah.
Sneaky can't even really afford to build a witch this turn either. Like he would have to skip a barracks build if he did.
It's a bit interesting, this knight position, because he's basically challenging Vesper to, like, you're not gonna go in here.
I mean, it covers the max run distance from Vesper, so if she walks away, the knight will crit her.
Yeah. I think the idea is if Vesper goes in to hit the knight, it's quite easy to surround her. So she can't really afford to do that. And yeah, the knight is basically preparing to punish Vesper as she decaps the next village.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if we see double mage built this turn.
Although he might wanna start saving up for his own dragon. So that's usually pretty good as Tenry to get a dragon.
Personally, I like having a lot of anti-air to cover if my opponent went dragon. But we'll see. Sneaky's thinking about it.
That's true.
Oh,
Alright.
and here comes the second mage.
Well, that's the third mage in total, actually.
Oh, well, I mean second this turn, but and this sword's just sitting in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just like crossed to capture this village. I'm wondering if Sneaky's using his spacebar, you know? CleanerCode still goes for it. I mean, kind of makes sense because having Groove is pretty nice as Vesper. He might not take that much damage on the back end because like few of his units are gonna cover, like the dragon, but I think Sneaky is still gonna go for the Knight crits. So like he's got two mages behind, so dragon can't really, like, even if the dragon wants to punish the knight, the mages will be there. So
Yeah, and it's not like Sneaky could move a lot of units into a good aggressive position behind this. Whereas, so he does a bunch of damage to Vesper, let's say. It's actually a shame that like his dog isn't like a tiny bit closer. But yeah, because he could do like a knight crit and two like I guess like a dog hit and a dog crit. But that won't be the case. But I think he could actually do like a pretty safe aggressive play here. Like he rams the knight into Vesper and keeps everything else just out of range. So you won't see, like, it
I
will
don't
be
know.
able to, like, so if the counter attack happens onto the knight, then the rest of the army will be able to crush whatever hits the knight, is what I'm going for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit. I think it's a bit awkward because it's not the best situation for Sneaky to attack here, but I'm feeling if he doesn't go for it, CleanerCode's gonna, like, he's just gonna get away with basically getting 75% groove and decapping a bunch of villages early. But I'm not even sure if it favors Sneaky in this position, to be honest. And also, like, this sword not, like, basically not moving this sword, kind of leaving it there. I don't know if it was a mistake from him or not, but it's kind of costing him a unit, I guess. Like, the sword can still act, but its impact will be quite reduced, especially since, like, even a sword can make a big difference in this sort of fights where there's only like few key units in the dragon, Vesper, the knights, and the mages, and then the rest is like swords and dogs. Basically having one more unit can be a difference. Very big difference.
No, he's gonna go for it. That's a big chunk of damage Vesper's taken, so
Yeah, pretty nice roll.
sword moves back.
Yep. Dog hits.
The dog goes in, does some damage. And here's the thing, there's now a dragon, 2 injured swords, a full health sword, and a full health dog that can attack into this. Like Vesper, if she stands and fights, she'll die.
Yeah, she has to like back up somewhat.
And Sneaky could move, like he's gonna move his rifle into a good position to cover.
Yeah, I
So
was wondering what he was gonna build this turn because an air unit would be pretty good here, although maybe it's my personal bias speaking. But like CleanerCode only had one mage, so but the thing is he had a good rifle spot to heal, basically covering the front. So I think that's most likely the better option, and delaying your rifle heal even further would not be the best. No, even spends a mage heal.
I think that's worth it. Because now this knight's like still a huge threat to anything. That comes near it, like knight crit at that health will kill like swords and it will kill mages.
Yeah.
And I even think like the knight would kill a dog on roads if not plains at that health.
That might happen actually. I think, yeah, the mage heal makes quite a bit of sense because when you, like in this position, Sneaky is not particularly ahead. I'd say maybe he's even a little bit behind if you consider like troops and material. But this mage heal basically gives you tempo for Sneaky because that's what he's got right now. He's basically gonna chase after Vesper and force the army to cover for her.
Yeah, and actually I think forcing the army to cover is the really big thing because there isn't a lot of good units here on the ground. Like, if you look at the army, the dragon is like the kind of king, right? Like the really big scare unit. But outside of that, you got 2 injured swords, a bunch of swords, a dog, and like this mage that's really far back. And okay, there's a rifle here as well, but a rifle isn't gonna do super well against 3 dogs and a knight. So I think that was a really good turn for Sneaky. I think the dragon can't really go in because there's so many mages and they're all out of reach of the ground troops. But they're all still in range to be able to attack themselves.
Yeah, usually you build a dragon early to get some tempo yourself, but CleanerCode kind of already had it. So it's kind of turning like against him, I guess, to have the dragon, because now Sneaky is the one that's basically going for a more tempo heavy play, and CleanerCode doesn't have the right units to counter that. Like, you don't really counter tempo with I mean, you can counter tempo with pressure, but usually you need to respond to pressure yourself. And this position is actually pretty interesting because I don't think CleanerCode can safely go heal from that village, because you can't really block because of that rifle, that injured dog, and like if you go heal there, you're on a plains tile next to a road tile. There's like an injured dog, there's a sword, there's the Tenri won't be able to reach, so perhaps it's safe, but you can take a lot of damage if you heal from there.
And there's actually even stuff like you would need to clear the dog in front, otherwise like that's 2 dog crits that can come in on you.
Yep.
And that is not a fun
3
experience.
actually.
Oh yeah, 3 dog crits. And then you do the dog crits and then you throw down
throw down mage heals on the sword, so you can suicide it. Then you got the rifle, and then yeah. It's not guaranteed lethal, but it's pretty good.
And I just got word that Ash is apparently going to play against Spacefront like right now as well. So Sunday evening Europe time seems to be everybody's preferred time to play, which is fine. I think I'm gonna do stuff like this set live tonight, and so this set live tonight, and then I'll do replays tomorrow for the rest of them.
I'm thinking if I'm CleanerCode, you might want to consider like running Vesper to the forest and mage healing her.
Yeah, there's no night crit follow up there, so that would be quite safe. And if it puts her on 80 health, so you're not gonna see like a dog suicide in.
Yeah. You can also cover with the dragon on the right tile, so, and the bottom tile is unreachable, so it would be like two tiles to attack from.
Okay, we see this sword walk back and heal. Although, I mean, it's still gonna die to a single dog hit, so unless
yeah, but the dog would have to go deeper, so it would be like exposing itself to a counterattack, basically.
maybe there's still a lot of army here for Sneaky that could just walk forward and do damage.
Yeah, CleanerCode's basically ran into the issue of spending all his money into one unit, but because this unit is a dragon and the counter to like anti-dragon units counter dragons so effectively if they are allowed to fight it. So CleanerCode's in a bit of trouble. Alright, chooses to run all the way to the right.
Oh, 1 second. I need to answer a rules question. So, I'm gonna mute my mic for a moment.
I don't know if I love this position. You're in night crit range. Like, you can't really cover the top with the dragon because mages are in reach. I guess you can cover that side with the dragon. And that covers the night crit, so okay. That should be fine then. Yeah, I guess CleanerCode's found a way out. Vesper didn't heal, so does have that problem. But he's spending a lot of time on this turn. And I'm not the biggest fan of this rifle position. It's a bit too forward, I think. Because the thing is, if the front moves back even slightly, the rifle will be exposed and won't be able to shoot for 1 turn. Like, the main advantage of the rifle is that it can shoot from so far away, so that even if you move back, the rifle still is safe. But if you position it that way, you lose that advantage, I guess. Although CleanerCode did like blob up pretty nicely right there, so I don't think Sneaky can continue attacking. So yeah, this rifle kind of makes sense because you want to put it to support your blob in whichever direction it goes, and you're also like kind of preventing the capture above your stronghold, although it's not the best village to capture.
Okay, I'm back. There was a question about what happens in a particular situation. To do with timers.
Alright.
So, okay, Cleaner has pulled back into... I would say this is actually quite a nice position.
Yeah, he's blobbed up pretty nicely. Although Sneaky is gonna be able to capture like the village on the left. He'll have a bit of an econ lead after that. Although Vesper did not heal, so it's gonna be able. Oh, hang on. The sword could have captured from the top and be out of range of the rifle.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. I guess like the one thing Sneaky has in this position, or one thing going against Sneaky in this position, is that he didn't really have enough on the right hand side to punish. So
yeah, I'm wondering if maybe Tenri did not have to come over to the left to help with the army. She could have continued to like attack villages, maybe.
Yeah, like there could have been a sword hit onto that village and then Tenri follow up.
Although it does get complicated with rifle positionings and such, so can't really tell for sure. So I don't really like moving the rifle last because it kind of means like, because I mean I guess it makes sense because you want to make sure you place it in a safe spot, but I guess it's more of a mentality thing where you're like you want to decide where your army moves, and then your rifle basically positions according to that. But I like what Sneaky's doing. He's just positioning to take some villages.
Yeah, and does a bit of damage to the village on the right. I guess we're gonna see another sword move over to the right. Maybe like the mage would move to the right as well.
I don't think you need to send the mage because the witch is now up and it can like cross the map pretty to respond to the dragon pretty much. So like if the dragon goes right to try to respond to the sword and try to get the top right village that's on the road, the witch can just like move there in one turn and it won't be an issue. So I think I prefer the mages staying with the army like that.
I like a lot of this positioning is really nice. Like this knight can crit the village on the left and the mage can safely capture it from the left hand side of the village too.
Yep.
So
And if CleanerCode decides to go on the right, you can use knight and sword. Like if the village puts up a soft defense, you have multiple options to decap and capture it. I would have almost preferred Tenri to be on the mountain or the tile below for Sneaky, because this way you would prevent the village across the river from being captured. Well, I mean, at least you would somewhat prevent it. Like this, you're
like
kind of
standing
like
next to the koi
lacking.
pond's really dangerous though.
Yeah, I know, but don't think would be. I don't think there was that much of a lethal.
It's just one of those like people are very wary. There's like those 4 tiles next to the koi pond. And for people who don't know what the
Rule
koi
number
pond
2.
is, yeah, well, it's not quite a road, but yeah. Like the koi pond, for people that don't know, is this river tile in the center, and because it has negative 20% defense, it's really easy to suicide a unit onto a commander. So you can get a dog, and that dog will do a full dog hit worth of damage onto a commander that doesn't have any defense bonus. So you're averaging 20.
Yep.
That's a
So
big
hang on,
deal.
he would have had like 60 with the dragon in his suicide, and then one side left. So maybe I don't think he could have like an extra sword was in range. I think the most you get is 80%. But then you kind of lose the dragon, you give some groove to Tenri. Although, actually, the villages near Tenri are not healthy, so it's not the best idea for her to take damage. I'm really thinking there's a severe lack of balloons right now. Can't help but think that.
Yeah, like there does seem to be a bit of an issue about attacking in. Like, Sneaky had a really good offensive play a couple turns ago, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what happens with the tempo. It's like, it feels really good when you do it, and then it can just stop from one turn to in one turn, basically. CleanerCode's like one turn away from getting Groove.
Oh, and they both have their own swords that will get sacrificed.
Well, the sneakies could have been avoided, I guess. I don't think you can go for the bottom left village here.
There is a lot covering it, and he doesn't really have
Yeah.
enough to... He couldn't run enough stuff down there to cover it himself.
And I will say, CleanerCode's, I mean, I'd say he's a... I mean, I guess unit count is about even. It's like they each get the lead whenever they end their turn. Now
Yeah.
that the sword's been traded, I guess.
This is so hard. Like, at this point, it's like really hard to push in. I think this is when stuff like you were saying, balloons come in really helpful. I'd actually kind of like to see like archers, I think, actually start coming into use here.
Yeah, it's when this time where like none of the players are really making a push is when you can afford to make like these lower move units, like archers and such, that are really impactful when once they reach the front. But yeah, right now they're just like positioning to prevent each other from going in. It's like a very... It's a hard balance to maintain, I guess.
I wonder if we're gonna see the 90% dog heal back to full using a village. Sneaky's getting another knight.
I think you don't need to heal the dog, to be honest. 90% dog does like about the same damage. I guess you might, and since you have a witch, you're not gonna miss any like one-hit KOs you wouldn't get otherwise. And the 90% dog can suicide into Vesper if you're trying to get a lethal. So that's pretty good. But actually, CleanerCode's gonna have Groove at the end of this turn, so that's really dangerous. Because that means, like, Vesper Groove is a tool that can be used to break situations like these. Because he's gonna be allowed to basically step into the no man's land in between the two armies unpunished. And Sneaky is gonna have to move back, give up villages and stuff like that.
I almost wonder if it's like the point where you get a second witch out just so you can hex stuff that's in the smoke cloud.
Don't think it makes that big of a difference, to be honest. I mean, I'm not the biggest witch fan, but I mean, a lot of people disagree with me on that, so I don't know. But I guess maybe there is a point to be made for that. But the thing is, when Vesper grooves in front of you, well, first of all, you don't want to open yourself to an initial attack that you can't punish because of the groove. So you need to stay away. and then you need to disengage after she grooves once, so that basically she doesn't get a free attack on the turn after that. So as long as you have space to move backwards, you can kind of nullify Vesper Groove. She will get like terrain regardless, but that's another topic, I guess. Because it doesn't really matter if you witch hex once or twice. The Vesper Groove, like, if you're exposed, you're still gonna take a ton of damage. Like, it's a bit different if you Ragna Groove, for example. But yeah. That might be. Hang on. That might be dangerous for CleanerCode. Though he's not in range of the knight, so maybe not.
I could see the rifle going down this turn though. I guess like the thing there would be Sneaky would need to dedicate a lot to clear the rifle.
Ah, actually, you make a very good point, actually. If CleanerCode doesn't cover more than that, and he's probably not going to, Sneaky can use 3 dogs to kill that rifle. And that's a very big win for him. Like, you use 2 dogs to kill the sword, and the dog will one-shot a rifle on planes.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's what makes Nuru so strong on this map, is that she can just spawn a dog and send it at your rifle.
Oh, you're right.
He would have to, like, mage heal his dog on the mountain. But I think that's worth it.
Yeah, 3 dogs for a sword and a rifle. And then you set up the rest of your army in a position where, like, when they pounce on the dogs, you like get the counter attack on them.
I mean, this is gonna be such a complicated turn for Sneaky, because he has to think about, like, does he go for this? And how does he handle Vesper Groove too? I mean, I was saying you need to move backwards, but you can also wall Vesper. If you can manage to wall after Vesper Grooves, that's also very, very good. If you can take down the rifle, walling becomes that much more difficult. So that could be a very good thing for Sneaky to do.
What's the range on Hex again?
4.
4. So... Okay. No, I had like a thought, but I don't think it can work. Like, the witch hexes and you use the injured dog to hit the rifle. But that would be a lot of dedicating. Like, you'd have to dedicate a lot to an attack like that.
Yeah, or otherwise you kind of give the witch away.
Yeah, so yeah, 3 dogs is probably the safer option. Like, you need to throw a mage heal in there, but
I mean, I'd say that's worth.
it's kind of a shame. If Tenri had 5% more groove charge, she could even use 1 dog and Tenri to hit the sword and like follow up with like a bigger attack even.
That would be very scary though.
Yeah, actually, yeah, she'd be able to be surrounded on 4 sides and like mage crits from forest, and yeah, that's probably a bit too dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably need to commit the entire army if you go for that, and Like most of CleanerCode is out of range, so. But honestly, Sneaky needs to simply defend on this left side, so if he can pick a rifle, I think that's like very good. If he doesn't see the play, it's gonna be kind of rough for him. CleanerCode's got insane pressure on the HQ. And Sneaky, like, he's got a few units going to the right sides to take this village. And if Vesper wants to split her army, it's gonna be very awkward. And mostly Vesper doesn't really want to split her army, I feel. So yeah, he can get some econ from the right side, and all he needs to do is defend the left side. Like, he's gonna lose a few villages, and there's not much you can do about it once Vesper has groove like this. So Emo's saying he thinks it's a bad idea to go for the rifle. Basically saying you'd kind of lose gold value and unit count. But really you're losing like 1 unit if you go for it, because like you lose 3 dogs, you kill a sword and a rifle. And the rifle, you could say its value is 750, because that's, 800? Is it?
750.
I don't even know how much a rifle costs. But the rifle does a lot of things just by existing and being like covering some ground.
Yeah, I would say a rifle is worth more than 750, especially in a position where you and your opponent only have. Oh, I think Sneaky's gonna go for it.
Oh, he saw it. Nice. It's a very important play to make.
And he has to heal the dog. Like, I wish he'd healed it off the village, but. Alright, and
Yeah.
this is smart. He's gonna move the sword first so he can heal both.
Oh, that's a good optimization, yeah. Although maybe you want Henry to stand on that spot, but I mean, I guess you're gonna move the rifle, because you need to move it back, otherwise it's gonna be complicated to. It's not gonna do anything next turn anyways, because there's gonna be smoke, I assume.
Ooh, that's a very brave position to put a witch. But there's nothing that can hit it, so.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. Because this way you kind of restrict where CleanerCode's units can like purely stand on. So like Vesper Groove has less potential. Yeah, here comes the mage heal. That's a very big win for Sneaky. But he still has to deal with like Vesper Groove and protecting his HQ. So, but that's definitely a very big step in the right direction.
Yeah, because now he gets to use his rifle freely, right? He can use that in a position where it forces the opponent to, back away. There are a lot of units here that rifles aren't very good against, but it's still like really nice overall.
And also, like, this is pretty good situation for Tenri as a commander, because generally on open season, like Tenri's plays are a bit restricted. Although maybe you could say she has more plays, but they have less impact because on open season, there you can have more key units because there's a rifle that's for everyone, free rifle, and basically you need to choose if you're going for a delete an enemy key unit play. You need to choose between the rifle and the rest of the army. But now that the rifle's gone, this dragon could like kind of just die, I guess.
Yeah, like Tenry can just run, snag the dragon, and then
And once the dragon is gone, there's not that much left in CleanerCode's army.
well, I mean, there's a couple of knights and
Yeah, there's 2 knights, but you have 2 knights of your own, so it's not that scary.
3 knights of his own there.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, Sneaky's doing. It's a big place, and there's no spears, so these knights can really just like run around and kill a lot of stuff if they want to.
Yeah, there's also no balloons to like accelerate the spears if you decide to build them.
Now here comes something a little complicated. Like, how is Cleaner gonna kill these dogs? Because he will take, unless he does this like perfectly, he will take some damage trying to clear them.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bit awkward. Although I guess the dragon can kill the one in the forest. Because since there's a flagstone tile above, if you hit from the right, then the witch won't really be able to punish, I guess. Actually, I'm thinking this witch being alone, CleanerCode can surround it and basically guarantee that he kills a witch next turn while he attacks. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, because he also has to kill the dogs, it's a bit awkward.
Yeah, because like we're talking about these dogs being like easy kills, but he still has to dedicate the right units in the right way to kill them without taking damage. Alright, so we see the knights clear up 2 of the dogs that are in plains, but is he going to use the dragon on this one?
I'm not sure about this position from CleanerCode. I don't know if he's gonna groove or hold it for next turn, but he's exposing his knight. Oh, well, apparently he's gonna hold it. I think I like holding it, because you weren't in the right position to make the full use out of it yet, and like the knights aren't that exposed, I guess. They are a little bit, but you're still favored if Sneaky attacks into you here. I feel, at least. It's hard to calculate on the fly. And
Yeah, it's a
he's
tough one.
dedicating some units to the right because of Sneaky's like 3 units there. So that's good for Sneaky
Yeah,
to
Sneaky's...
split up the fighting like that.
Yeah, although I'm looking at this. I'm wondering if there's a way of like clearing the knights, setting up like a sword crit. If like one of his knights is 1 tile closer, he could clear both, get a sword crit and a knight crit on Vesper. I don't know if that's enough to kill though.
Yeah, I mean, not many units are in range of Vesper, so I don't think there's any lethal here.
Oh, but he just walked a mage into rifle fire.
Oh, that's not great.
It won't kill. Because...
No, but the mage is gonna be at like 1% basically.
Yeah, I mean in theory you could run in and hex it and that would...
Starting to like Sneaky's starting to have to think about how he can, because like he can't just move back now because he's got his back next to his HQ. So he's got to start thinking about how he's gonna wall this. And I think so far he's doing a pretty good job. Like the having Tenri here, and then maybe you could even walk Tenri one tile forward, and have the witch to the left, and that's kind of a perfect wall. Although I mean, it's a wall that cannot be killed. It's not a perfect wall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
or you could move the witch back up to ice and then put the balloon below it. That would be very good wall. Because no mages can really reach that spot.
yeah, and like, you know, a witch running in and doing what, like 50% to a balloon? What's the regular balloon damage? 55. So
And having a damaged balloon isn't a big deal. Especially if you get a witch to trade for it.
yeah, that's about as ideal as you're gonna get.
I'm not a huge fan of this double witch from CleanerCode. Because as Vesper, you kind of want your big units to go in and do some damage and then groove. But witches don't really do that.
If I was sneaky, I'd actually consider running my knight that's in the forest over to the right hand side. And then just like using that to threaten the dogs and the sword and all the villagers there.
That's a very good point, because like there's nothing that can cross the center to punish that, and it still reaches both sides where you need it. And since CleanerCode has been like slowly advancing but not really, I think you want to challenge him a little bit. Because right now he's not committing anything. And the longer this goes on, Sneaky's catching back his groove deficit that he's got so far.
Yeah, if he ends a turn with a unit kill, he has groove, so.
I think Sneaky should really see that the rifle can shoot the mage.
Yeah, I guess it's the question of like, is it worth me standing my ground here? I mean, you do have to though.
There is your HQ there, so kind of is worth, yeah. And that's like one of the easiest positions to hold on this map, because like it's hard to like cross from the center because of the village and the mountain, and it's like you just got a two tile choke points basically. If you got two units that don't really die, then it's an immortal wall.
There's also something else you could do with the witch here, which is a way more aggressive play. Is like you move it above where the dog on the left is, and you hex, and then you rifle shoot the mage. And the witch won't die for it. You'll pick off a mage, you'll put your opponent... The only like punishment your opponent really has is using their own witch to hit.
They can surround your witch, so it will die if
Yeah.
it does that kinda.
Sneaky could then position his army though in a way that would follow up punish. I don't know if it's worth, but
I mean, you are doing that for a mage that you would like rifle shoot and put at 1% if you didn't, so
yeah, but
Not
it's more
sure
that
if it's
it damages like the knight, it damages dogs, it damages the dragon and
that's
the witch.
true. It damages the dragon too, so maybe it's worth. Alright,
Okay.
goes for the shots.
10% health exactly.
Yeah, the min roll.
But I don't know. Does he go for the aggressive play or does he just pull back and be defensive? And he's really thinking about this. Like timer's going to come into play for both players here.
Faded is saying maybe he wants the rifle to not move, so he just put the mage there. But I'm not sure about that because the rifle wouldn't really want to move from here. Like, I guess if you want a slightly better position, you move it. I mean, there's not really a better position than this for the rifle, at least.
Right, I disconnected from the server, so.
Oh, well, that's right. Sneaky is just taking his turn slowly. Yeah, he's doing all the small moves I was thinking of. Like he puts the dragon behind the village so that you can't use the dragon to clear what's there and then run past that. He does the correct moves. He might do your knight positioning that you were talking about, maybe. I hope.
Okay, we're back. Right, he's just kind of pulling his army back on the right. He needs something else over on the right hand side to threaten. Because they're both just stuck in this locked position on the left, so that units need to go onto the right hand side to threaten. Otherwise they're just going to stay locked. And I like the second witch. If you're going up against double witch, you also need double witch, really. Because they'll be able to protect each other. They do offer things like let's say the smoke cloud does come down, you can double witch hex to like do some damage, right? You're not completely stuck.
Yeah, I guess in this position it makes more sense because you cannot like move back after there's a smoke cloud. So you're gonna have to hold your ground, and if you can do a bit of damage while you do that, then sure, why not? But yeah, they're both under 20 minutes now.
Now I did have to clarify the sudden death rule to the player, or to the players even. So if they both go under the 30-second timer, they enter sudden death, and that means when someone hits 0, we count the income that they have at the start of their turns for like that last turn. So we could see, I mean, right now it's completely split evenly. They have the same income, they have the same unit count. CleanerCode, ooh, he's being aggressive now. I think he's going to smoke cloud this turn, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe you smoke cloud right in front of Tenri. Like you ram the dragon into Tenri, you ram the witch into the other witch. You ram a knight into the village to the left. And then you smoke. You can even capture the village. And then that way, like next turn, you're gonna basically be pushing into the formation.
Yeah, although... Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it needs to be done in a way that like Sneaky could like go around and hit the units at the back of the formation if they aren't under the smoke. So this needs to be done like basically perfectly.
Oh, he's not using groove.
Ooh.
Wow. It's really making it last. And I mean, like, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Sneaky, because he'll be closer to having groove.
And this positioning, there's like options starting to open up. Like there's a night crit available on the enemy knight. So could start seeing stuff like there's a potential surround on Vesper here.
I don't think you can really surround Vesper, but yeah.
I mean, less of a surround, but you could do a lot of damage to her.
Oh, a second dragon comes. This I prefer this to a witch by a lot. Because if you can go in with 2 dragon hits, then smoke, then you got another 2 dragon hits. That's like potentially 4 units dead.
I wish Sneaky had moved his knight on the left 1 tile to the south. It would have been able to threaten a lot more. Where it is right now, it can't actually do anything.
Yeah. Although it might have stepped in range of another knight if it did that. And yeah, you can see this big, like, emptier area where the rifle of Sneaky is aiming at.
And there comes the question: is like, what can Sneaky kill? I mean, you've got 2 witch hexes on the board.
Yeah, but CleanerCode's mages are really being zoned out by this rifle. I feel that opens up so many options for Sneaky to like block with his witches.
I think they might be lethal this turn.
Oh, really?
Like, you've got a sword suicide. That's 83%. Follow up would be double witch hex. Oh, actually no, I think there's lethal here because you've got 2 witch hexes that can reach. You got a sword suicide. So how much damage is that?
Hang on, does that witch actually reach?
It can get there from the sword north of the mountain.
From the top, yeah.
Yeah. Which means that you can do like 80% damage to the knight in the north as well. Oh, not 80%, 20%, and you can do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, you can kill the knight with Tenry, I guess, and dogs, maybe.
I think actually witch plus knight crit will kill the knight to the south.
Yeah, actually. No, because it's on planes, it's a roll.
Oh, 2 witches can reach with hexes though. So that's...
Oh, that's true. Then you can kill the knights below with the knight crit.
And that means like a mage could run around below and hit.
Yeah.
And then you've got Tenry follow up. Killing the sword on the right is really easy. Like you can set up a dog crit with the balloon.
That's true. And then like you have a dog to hit from there, I guess.
Yeah. So that's actually guaranteed lethal.
Yeah, you got like 45 from Tenry, you got 20 from a dog. And then like, you got 2 hexes and a mage.
And a sword suicide.
Yeah. That's well spotted, actually.
So here comes the question. Is Sneaky also going to spot this?
I think they're taking a ton of time each turn, so I think they've been checking for this every single turn. Otherwise, I would say they're playing a bit slow if they're not doing that.
I'm just taking a quick look at the who's in chat right now. Just to, I don't think they would, but I just wanted to be sure. And yeah, shout out to everybody who's joining us. Like, it's actually really nice to see a big crowd of people. A lot of names I've seen here for a long time. War Puppy, one of my first ever people that came into my stream to watch me play like ladder back in the day. I see them in chat. There's like a bunch of other names as well. So thank you everybody for joining. I do appreciate it. We are gonna see if Sneaky sees this lethal. It's guaranteed. Like, you got a sword that does, it's what, like an average of like 12, 13 when it's on a 0% defense.
I don't think you like. Hang on, let me just do the math again. It's like 65, 85, and then. So you got 110 if you don't clear the knight on the top, basically. So it's not guaranteed because you're attacking from 3 sides, but you would need like minus 11 or something from 3 units. That would feel really bad if you got something like that.
Minus 11 from 4 units. It's mage, tenry, sword, dog.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't count the sword in the calc, so yeah, it's probably guaranteed.
Yeah, because sword's like 12, unless like 12 average, right? Maybe a bit more than that.
Like the sword basically fixes any bad RNG chances you've got. The sword has 83%, so hang on, I don't know how much damage that is, but it's about 10, I guess. Yeah, it's 1245, so yeah. Will Sneaky spot it? I think the hardest part to spot is that the witch can hex from like above the mountain and reach the knight below Vesper.
Yeah, because you know you have your own units kind of blocking there. There's like flagstone and stuff, and sometimes you won't recognize where that ends. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. It catches, and actually they could both hex the sword on the right, which means like even if you didn't go for a dog crit, you could potentially kill that sword anyway. The crit makes it way more guaranteed. Although that said, you don't even need to use the dog for that. What you could do is have the second mage run and kill the sword instead, because that would be guaranteed. And that means you don't have to use 2 dogs to clear that.
Yeah, but you only need to use. I mean, you do need to use your dog. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. But then you need to like be a bit more careful with where you hex, I guess. Yeah, he's going for like, I guess, a different approach where like you suicide dogs into the knights. I was thinking about that, but your options seemed like guaranteed, so. I'm not sure about this one. Let's see if it works. I'm assuming you wanna maybe mage crit the knight. But I'm not sure that would be enough. 41% might be a bad roll. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. It amounts to roughly the same, but... Oh, he must suicide his sword before he hexes another time, actually. He has to be really careful about this. It opens up the same option, but I guess you trade a mage hit for a dog hit, so you do lose 5 damage. No. Oh no, he didn't hex the knight on the bottom a second time.
Oh no, he's going to use the knight to hit Vesper instead.
Oh, that works too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Oh, well played to Sneaky. I didn't think about doing it that way, but yeah. A knight definitely does a lot more.
Than a dog.
Yeah, more a mage. So, well played to Sneaky for spotting a very different approach to that lethal. And I'm getting I'm just seeing my like number counter, like notification counter on Discord go up. I feel like Sneaky's gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so like happy that. Yep, and of course I have 6 DMs from Sneaky. Let's see how. I'm gonna check
When
my
I
other
call
DMs
him,
first. And
I
I'm
don't know. Are they gonna play game 2 today?